could this mean for your average consumer? Well, here to break it down for us is ETSU Professor of Finance, Bill Trainor. Thank you so much for being here today.
No problem.
Well, first off, for people who don't exactly understand what is happening, what is the simplest way that you can put it?
It's kind of like a sales tax. So anything you want to bring, I'll give it Vietnam as an example. There's a 46% now reciprocal tariff on Vietnam. So if you want to bring in $100 of goods of Vietnam, once it gets to the port, before it leaves the port, you'll pay a 46% sales tax, so to speak. So the $100 item is now a $146 item. If you are a manufacturer, or actually if you're just a reseller, let's say you were selling that item for $110. Well, now it's costing you $146 to bring it in. So theoretically, you'd move the price up to $156, right? But that doesn't quite work that way because you'd probably take a hit on the profit margin. So maybe rather than selling it for $156, you sell it for $154. So your profit margins are squeezed a bit. Price has gone from $100 past $150, so that reduces the quantity demanded. So now the problem is people are buying less of your product, and the product you are selling, you're getting less money per item. So what does that do to corporate profits? Corporate profits obviously will fall. If corporate profits fall, you'll probably reduce your workforce a little bit. You could have unemployment, you'll have higher prices, could end up a recession, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what the stock market's extremely worried about. If all this occurs, and we've already lost $10 trillion of market value based on this $1 trillion trade deficit we now run. So the math's not quite adding up. But the idea is the present value of future earnings that companies will not be making because they will be selling less at much higher prices is currently valued at about 10 trillion. And that's basically that's based on a probability this may occur. If it becomes a little more certain, and if these tariffs last longer, we could see, at least, how should I say this, further volatility in the stock market.
I know you just touched a little bit on the short and the long-term impacts, but is there anything more that you can tell folks about what they can expect? Short term,
depending on, now a lot of people have already come to the table. Vietnam's come to the table and offered zero reciprocal tariffs on products that we sell in Vietnam. The European Union's talking about the same. So if a deal gets worked out quickly, if anything, you could actually see lower prices. If a deal does not get, with certain countries, the whole China thing's just happening today, so that's kind of a new story. But on the other hand, if they kind of last longer term, you should probably expect to see higher prices almost on everything, because even things you might think we produce in America, a lot of the kind of intermediate goods that go into actually making these products are brought in from overseas, and the companies that would build those will face higher cost.
Quickly, is there anything that you would suggest to people, or is there anything that they should look out for or keep their eye on?
The first trade deal. I think that will be fairly big, at least I'm a finance person, at least for the stock market. I think if the first trade deal goes through, they can see that there is going to be, quote unquote, an end to, quote unquote, the tariff tantrum is what they're now calling it in the market, and the tariff wars. And we could see this all go away in 2 or 3 months. To the extent that it escalates and we start having all these reciprocal tariffs, China does this, we do that, China does this, we do that, it keeps getting higher and higher. We could get to the point where it becomes so expensive to either import from China or export to China that trade between both countries will completely stop. And the same reason we don't basically grow oranges in Michigan, the same thing goes with different products that we produce in different countries. Some countries can produce products much cheaper than we have, especially when it comes to textiles. We don't actually have a workforce that wants to sit down and basically make dresses, shoes, suits, that sort of thing. We're more interested in satellites, gaming, cloud storage, kind of very high technical, high margin products. And to the extent that you start having to take money away, so to speak, or resources away from producing those goods to maybe making shoes, we end up being worse off, and the entire world as a whole being worse off. So best case scenario, all this eventually gets to zero. The longer that takes, the more kind of pain and volatility we will go through.
All right, well, Professor Trainor, thank you so much for joining us and breaking this all down for us.